The Avengers is a 2012 American superhero film based on the Marvel comics of the same name. Produced by Marvel Studios, it is the sixth film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Written and directed by Joss Whedon, with a cast that includes Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Jeremy Renner as the Avengers, alongside Tom Hiddleston, Clark Gregg, Kobe Smulders, Stellan Skarsgård, and Samuel L. Jackson. In the film, Nick Fury and the spy agency S.H.I.E.L.D. recruit Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Bruce Banner, and Thor to form a team capable of stopping Thor's brother Loki from subjugating Earth. Be sure to subscribe to Patrol Clip and stay until the end. You'll be surprised of 5 astonishing things about this movie that will be jaw-dropping. Here are 5 things that will freak you out about the Avengers. Number 5. The Cap's beard. In the Avengers' final end credits scene, Captain America is the only one not eating. Don't feel well, Cap? This is actually because Chris Evans had a brief vacation and he grew out his beard after the movie was done filming. He was called in later to do this extra scene and refused to shave off his beard due to the filming of Snowpiercer, which came out 2013 at the same time. So, they gave him a prosthetic jaw. He holds his hand over his face because the prosthetic made him look like he'd been attacked by a hive of angry bees. And of course, he wasn't able to eat or talk with the prosthetic on. Number 4. The real founder of the name. When you think of the Avengers, you probably think of Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. But it was another superhero who actually gave the team its name, a character that somehow hadn't even appeared in the movies yet. We're talking about Janet Van Dyne, the Winsome Wasp, who, although she was finally at least mentioned in Ant-Man, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, still hadn't made her Marvel Cinematic Universe debut. Janet Van Dyne is the wife of Hank Pym, an entomologist and physicist who developed the Ant-Man suit and is the mother of Hope Van Dyne. She operated under the codename Wasp in S.H.I.E.L.D. until she had sacrificed herself to disarm a Soviet ICBM bound to the United States in 1987, saving millions of lives, but also becoming lost to the quantum realm. Aside from being a founding member of the Avengers in the comics, Ms. Van Dyne privately funded the team and served as its leader for long stretches, proving a pivotal part of countless classic storyline arcs, all while running a fashion empire. However, when Thanos snapped his fingers to erase half of all life in the universe, Van Dyne, alongside her family, were amongst those who died, leaving Lang trapped in the quantum realm. Fortunately, she was resurrected in 2023 along with every other individual who had been eliminated during the snap. Number 3. Another name for the Avengers. Due to UK copyright issues over the name, Marvel had to release the film in the UK under the name Avengers Assemble, as there had already been an unrelated film with Sir Sean Connery and Ralph Fiennes, released by Warner Brothers. The Avengers came out in 1998. That movie was based on The Avengers in 1961, which starred Patrick Macnee. As Warner Brothers UK owned the copyrighted name and objecting to Marvel using it, Marvel was forced to change the name to Avengers Assemble for its UK theatrical and home video release. As film prints and marketing for the Republic of Ireland were handled by Disney UK, they decided to stick with the name change for that territory too, for cost-effectiveness reasons.
007 to the rescue!
Number 2. Stealing Thanos. While the Avengers rush headlong towards their inevitable MCU showdown with Thanos, DC's movie universe seems to be setting up an eventual battle with Darkseid. Darkseid, which made his first release in 1970, is Jack Kirby's giant-jawed alien overlord of Apocalypse, hell-bent on seeking out the anti-life equation and eradicating the universe of all free will. Thanos, who was introduced in 1973, on the other hand, is the giant-jawed overlord of Titan, fixating on making Death his girlfriend and subjugating the galaxy. That's only fitting since they're the same character. Both are super strong, telekinetic teleporters who seem to be ageless and can travel through time. And both are pretty much the most powerful bad guy in their respective universes. You can't really blame Jim Starlin for trying to come up with his own version of Darkseid for Marvel Comics because Darkseid is one hell of an awesome villain. Marvel editor-in-chief Roy Thomas told Starlin that if he was going to steal from Kirby, he might as well steal the coolest of the New Gods characters instead, namely Darkseid. Of course, Starlin agreed, which is why both movie universes feature basically the same villain. Number 1. It took 40 years for Spider-Man to join. Though it seems like a no-brainer to have Spider-Man on the Avengers, he didn't become a full-time member until Brian Michael Bendis added him with the launch of the new Avengers title in 2004. His official inclusion came 40 years after he first crossed paths with the team and followed numerous unsuccessful attempts by one side or the other to make the membership happen. Peter Parker first premiered as a comic book character in the anthology comic book Amazing Fantasy number 15, released in August of 1962. Marvel Comics editor and head writer Stan Lee wanted to create a character with whom teens could identify with, and wanted the character to be a very human guy. In 1998, Marvel Entertainment was looking for an influx of cash after the company emerged from the bankruptcy it filed 2 years prior, and Sony Pictures was looking to secure the big screen rights to Spider-Man. Marvel offered Sony the rights to nearly every Marvel character, including the likes of Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther, and Ant-Man for, wait for it, $25 million. Yep, that's right. For that matter, Sony responded, "Nobody gives a shit about any of the other Marvel characters. Go back and do a deal for only Spider-Man." Marvel went on to sell the rights to Spider-Man alone for $7 million, and it's hard to argue that Sony got its money's worth. Sony purchased movie rights to Spider-Man in 1998 before Disney bought Marvel Comics in 2009 and its intellectual property, and the two studios have collaborated as Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, has gradually joined his colleagues Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and the Hulk in the ever-expanding MCU. Disney bought Marvel for $4 billion in 2009, and now that looks like a steal. To think that Sony could have had that in their pocket for a cool $25 million, that's fascinating. The studios joined forces in 2015, and since then, Mr. Holland has appeared as Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Welcome to the gang, my webhead friend. Pretty incredible, right? Well, that's all for now. Until next time on Patrol Clip. And remember, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe.